Where does my role come in? And looking at this, and thank you, Ari, moving from a current state to what is our future state. And so I had mentioned with our personas, this is a great place where we went through the process of who do we have in the organization. And what you can see on this slide is our employee, our manager, and our senior leader. And so with this, we also have many, many other personas listed out. So within our HR partners, we have people success organization as well, who does a lot of our support and the administrative behind some of our systems and structures like that. But what I'm showing you here as part of our case study is that focus really on the employee, the manager, and a senior leader experience.
I love the visuals. I think we all have this in our head. And so putting it on, like the graphics are helpful, like you can really see the vision of it, I think is excellent. My question, I'm just curious, and maybe you haven't really gotten there yet, is did you employ some change management around this? Because it's one thing to put it on a piece of paper, but then how are you communicating it to the employees so that they understand that this is the path and the plan and how they're going to be engaged? So I'm just curious if that was a part of the plan as well.
Do you have time for another question? I was just wondering, Joanne, I see individual development plans in your model, and also heard you say that in some parts of the company, there was no learning when this began, or it was a little different. And I have clients who the worst thing in that company is to hear you're getting put on an individual plan. So I was just wondering, what kind of winning of hearts and minds did you have to do as you were implementing this in areas of the business where maybe learning wasn't as on its feet?
This is a good transition, and I wanted Joanne to go first to kind of show how this can be done in a very linear fashion. I think we are approaching it differently, and you can advance the slide to Ari. In our organization, so I work for Oshkosh Corporation, we do have limited resources in talent development. But this year, starting last summer, we implemented a new team member experience survey or engagement survey. We moved from a more traditional model of doing a huge survey every year or every other year to moving to a continuous listening tool. So we are using Pecan, which is a Workday tool.
I'd like to talk about where they've had their roadblocks. I'm like, if that was easier to go down that path, we could have moved to the next question and roadblock. But I'd love to hear it, Jack.
So one of the things that really has changed the dynamic for us is we now have personal plans for every single new hire, new joiner to our company. And what that takes them through is day one, then week 1 to week 5, and then month 2 to month 6. So we believe that onboarding takes about the first 6 months. And it really acclimates them things that knowledge articles, things they need to know about the company. There might be tasks, and some tasks might be as simple as make sure that you are connecting to this SharePoint site, or make sure you're registering for this certain class. And then there's Connect, which is ways for you to network. We include that specific journeys based on their role. So my journey in HR may be different to somebody else's journey who might be in marketing, and somebody else's journey who might be in software engineering.
And so what my question is because within each function, the skills that are needed to do the work is quite different because it's functional, And so what I'm curious about is how did you go about understanding, breaking down maybe the job title to the technical competence that makes up that work for each function? And might you be able to talk a little bit about that and share the approach you're taking?